Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Playbix and The Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined as always by my guy on the East Coast, Nate Weitzer. We're looking ahead at Game 4, Nate, Western Conference Finals. We had a nice win there for the Clips in Game 3, making this a series. They say it's not a series till the home team in one of these games loses, so we're still waiting for the series to start, but it's 2-1, and we'll get into Game 4 here in just a sec. As always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find all those local listings or playoff promos available in your area, and make sure to like and subscribe to that page. We tried to offer a gift card opportunity for Chris Paul and his points, rebounds, assists in Game 3, and we had 2 winners in that one. So looking ahead to another one, not in this video, but a future video here. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page to be eligible for those as they come. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into Game 4 of this series.
So do the Clippers interpret that as in they can't win a road game at the start of the series? Because once again, down 2-0, once again trying to come back from 2-0, and did a good job of it in Game 3. This series has been really very even, and the line reflecting it once again. Clippers only go from +1 to -1 after pulling out that win. The total drops from 221 to 218 because we were on the nose thinking that Chris Paul's return is actually going to lead to a slower pace, fewer points. So now that line a little more accurate. That loss for Phoenix had a pretty big impact on the series odds. Now they're -420 instead of -700 to win this series. And an intriguing series score right now, Suns in 6 at +300. You actually have the exact same odds for Suns in 7 at DraftKings. And looking at Game 4, I mean, I'm not going to try to pick a winner at this point. The Clippers, I mean, Tyronn Lue, just hats off to Lue. He continues to make the right adjustments. Obviously had a good game plan with Zubac in there with Pat Beverly. But like we said, it was a game plan that was based on defense. And that is why we went way under the total. That is why, despite the Clippers playing as well as they did in a win, they went under their team total, 109.5. I would target that again, no problem whatsoever. I don't think that the Suns' offense is going to struggle as much, certainly. I think, we saw this at the beginning of the season when Chris Paul and Devin Booker got on the floor together. It was a little bit of an awkward I go, you go, trying to find that rhythm in terms of playing off each other and not just letting each other take turns. And after a few games without Paul, there was some rust in that sense. Rust from him shooting. He went 5 for 19 after he shot 61% from the floor against Denver. And Booker continued to struggle too. They combined to shoot 10 for 40 from the field. I don't think that's going to continue. I don't think DeAndre Ayton is going to be quite as passive as he was against Zubac. Still came up with 18 points though. So, I'm definitely targeting props more than I am the game line again, and that includes Ayton props. But if you do feel like the Suns are able to pull this one out, and it's at least 50-50 in my mind, I would just look at some easy player performance doubles on FanDuel. 15 points for Ayton in a win is nearly +200, and a double-double for him, +240. He only missed that by 1 rebound last time out. I say either of those is pretty close to just getting the Suns at plus money on the money line, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting because I would follow you on props, but if anything, I would ride the Clips in my player performance doubles, to be honest with you. And I understand the logic behind Phoenix's defense overall being better than the Clips, no matter what at this point, especially with no Kawhi in there for LA. But I think either way, if I'm going to be targeting props in this game, I'm probably going to stay away from some of these player performance doubles, continue to eye the unders. The pace of this series has been roughly 93.5 through 3 games. And that was slowed down, to about 94.5 with Chris Paul there in Game 4. So I think you continue to see the same thing. Really, what was interesting is to your point exactly, the your turn, my turn stuff between Chris Paul and Devin Booker played right into the hands of the Clippers, who play really, really good team defense, but really only have one guy who can really go out there and be a ball stopper, or I guess two if you count Pat Bev, who's doing a great job on Devin Booker there the last couple of games. But then Paul George, you see him guarding Campaign while he was in there, which by the way was a pretty big loss, right? He went down early in the game in game 3 there, and then you saw Chris Paul having to play a lot more minutes. Definitely could have contributed to how poorly he played down the stretch, taking some really bad shots and then missing his usual sort of elbow jumpers and stuff like that. So to start with, as far as where I'm eyeing, definitely going to start with the under there, and then I would consider teasing that with the Clippers, because even if they were to lose this game, I don't see them getting blown out in any way, shape, or form. And I feel pretty comfortable about Paul George and his points, rebounds, and assists at 44.5, which he had a stellar game, 50 points, rebounds, and assists combined in game 3, scoring 27. And we both sort of talked about how there was at least 3 bunnies in there that he missed, a couple of layups even, that could have had him over 30 points. The reason I feel comfortable about those points, rebounds, and assists is because of the rotation at this point. Because Zubac has to play and get in there against Ayton, that means that Paul George is really now their 4, right? And without Batum getting any minutes, and Marcus Morris Sr. has obviously been slowed down and has not contributed on offense, which is why his minutes have been going to guys like Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard down the stretch. So I do like Paul George's rebound number specifically, which is why I like his points, rebounds, and assists at 44.5, because of how much I like his rebounds, as I said.
So that teaser you're talking about, you're saying tease Clippers up to +3 and then the total up to like 222.
Correct.
And put those together. Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. I like, any way to get this total just a little bit higher. Feel very comfortable about that, but I think it can still go under 218. Yeah. And I'm riding with you on the Paul George props. Yeah, he has a 36% usage rate in this series. His minutes continue to climb based on that rotation. And he's going to be a little more comfortable at home, continuing to hoist those shots, only shooting 38% from the floor. I think a lot of that is just makeable shots that he will start to hit. It's tough to bet against the Clippers in this spot. I mean, you have this down right now that they're 0-6 in games 1 and 2, as we mentioned. And then after that, they're 9-1 against the spread in games 3 and 4.
And straight up.
Yeah. And straight up. Yeah. They continue to bounce back. That's what they've done all season, right? They almost practice this. Lose one, and then we'll come back and we'll get you in the next one.
Yep.
So yeah, I do think if anything, you could parlay the Clips in the under. Again, I'm not trying to pick a winner in this game. I'm just trying to bank on good defense, on this being a dogfight, and guys having a tough time getting cooking, because 4 of the last 5 meetings of these teams have gone under, the exception being when Booker and Paul George were both cooking, when the Clippers got 38 bench points in game 1, which seems like a mirage now.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes for one of these games to go over, then I feel pretty confident about staying under.
Yep.
And backing, just some of the stars to get their peripheral stats like PRA.
Yep. Both
Paul George and CP3, who did rack up 12 assists and will probably have a better night shooting in game 4.
And you'll continue to see the ball in his hands a lot. We'll monitor what's up with Campaign and his injury, but shout out to anybody who predicted that a Campaign injury would have you considering whether or not the Phoenix Suns had enough depth right now to make it to the NBA Finals, because if Chris Paul continues to have to play, he'll probably be in a better rhythm after his second game back. As we said, I do like attacking his props there and his PRA because of how easily I think he can get into the lane and get the assist that he needs, especially with Zubac not exactly a rim protector, right? And then continue to look at the under, because Pat Bev was a big turning point as well. If you're going to need someone like Devin Booker on this team to go off, to the tune of 30 points or plus, and you need Chris Paul to be dishing out 12 plus assists in order to get, the efficiency in the Suns offense going, then you feel good about what Pat Bev has been able to bring. He's already injured the man enough to where he's being blocked. His visibility is blocked by a mask that he's wearing. It's super uncomfortable. So I think, like we said, unders, and then I still feel comfortable going with Zubac. I think Ty Lue has figured out, if I need this man in the rotation, then I need to make sure he's not a super big liability on offense. And, Zubac did put up that double-double there in game 3. I know he had about 13 points early on. He ended with 15, kind of came slow down the stretch. But either way, I think that his points and rebounds combined, which would sit at about 20.5, I would feel pretty good about that as well. So we'll continue to monitor this series either way, Nate. Very pivotal game 4 once again, as they, the Clippers took care of business in game 3, but this series is by no means yet within their grasp as they lose this game 4. So we'll see what's happening. We will be back with another one for you guys as these playoffs roll on. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you guys are thinking about game 4 in this series. And until we're back with another one, happy betting.